Hi everyone, and welcome to step 3 of SewQuester. Today I'm coming to you back from my studio. It is a SewQuester day for me. I have, in all honesty, been at the shop for a number of days since we've closed up the shop. It's amazing how much work it is to run a shop that's not open. But here I've had a nice day at home, and today I get to show you step 3 of the SewQuester project. You'll be happy to know today we get to sew. Very exciting. If you're sneaky and very observant, you'll see that the block we're going to make is up over my shoulder behind me. We're going to use our strip tube ruler, so go get your strip tube ruler, and I'm going to show you how to use that tube technique, and we're going to make these blocks together. Before I get into all of that, I want to invite you to participate in something else with me. I have, in this industry, discovered that it's full of wonderful people. On your side of the cutting table, you guys are full of love and joy and caring, and almost every quilt you make is for somebody else. But what you don't know is on the other side of the cutting table, over the years, I have developed some really wonderful friendships with other quilt shop owners across the country. And Sewing Social is a great example of how 12 shops can get together and have one promotion. On April 1st, Sewing Social begins, and it is a web page sponsored by one shop and 12 shops that are involved. I'm one of the 12 shops, and at each of the shops, you buy a pre-cut block to make a quilt of your choice, and every shop will offer you a finishing option. So you have an option of putting those pre-cut blocks into a finishing quilt. I just love our quilt, and I have to say I love a lot of the quilts the other shops have done. It's totally cool what we have created here in the Sewing Social event, and it starts April 1st. So on April 1st, you can go to the main website. The links are down below, and you can then go to each of the 12 participating shops. They'll all have a different block, and they're pre-cut, and the fabrics are beautiful Ellen Batik coordinated fabrics, so they all go together. We've been doing this for about 3 years. I'm excited to have it again this year with this wonderful group of people who have become my friends over the years, and just like on your side of the cutting table, on my side, there's some really wonderful, caring shop owners out there. So participate in Sewing Social, but after this video, first you have to see what this block goes, how this block goes together. If you notice, when you go download the instructions, it'll say block A. So there's going to be a block B. So this is going to be one of my favorite quilts in the world. It's going to be a 2-block quilt. It's amazing how effective 2 different blocks can look when you put them together. Create a secondary design and all the rest. All right, block is over the shoulder. Are you ready to see how it comes together? Let's go. So the first thing you want to do is take one of your print half strips. They should measure 2.5 inches wide by about 20 inches long. Partner it with a 2.5-inch background strip. You're going to put right sides together. My white is a white. It's a plain white, boring. There's no right or wrong side, but my print strip is very distinct. This is the right side. It's got that sparkle, remember? And this is the wrong side. So we want to put the right sides of the fabrics together so the edges line up. You can take it to your sewing machine, and you're going to sew 1/4-inch seam up along one side and the same 1/4-inch seam up along the other side to make a tube. So here we have our tube. We have a 1/4-inch seam up along the top and a 1/4-inch seam along the bottom. We're bringing it to our cutting mat, and we're going to put the measurement that the the pattern says, which in this case is 2.5 inches. We're going to place it on the bottom stitching line. It is so important that it places on the bottom stitching line. If not the stitching line, if you put it on the edge of the fabric, you will still make the right type of cut, but it'll be the wrong size. So, stitching line. I'm going to take rotary cutter. In this case, I have the Quilter's Choice or Quilter's Select rotary cutter. Very nice. We like it. It's got nice weight to it. Press the button and expose the blade. I'm going to cut up and cut down. I'm not going to do it because I can't do it with the camera in front of me. I've messed up a couple of cuts. So I'm going to pretend. Cut up and cut down, cut out a triangle. The magic of television, right? Pull your strip tube ruler away and open it up. Here you have a triangle. Now you can open up that triangle. And if I had a live studio audience, I might have a chorus that then, when I say it opens up into your half square triangle, the chorus would say, "Brilliant!" Instead, I do have my brilliant mug there. Isn't that fun? So, there's our half square triangle block. Told you they'd have half square triangles in here. So here's the block. We are going to have to cut off the dog ears. The easiest way to cut off these little dog ears is actually not to open it up and finger press it yet, or even press it with an iron. We're going to take this triangle and place the ruler and the same measurement on that same stitching line. And then with our rotary cutter, let's see if I can do this without bleeding on my project. Cut up, cut down, and now you've cut away the dog ears. Well, you would have if I could get that angle with the camera right here. It's directly in front of me. I hope I'm not too loud in your ear. Okay, so there's our half square triangle block. Ta-da! Isn't this exciting? The next time we cut will be off of the top stitching line. So we'll put the same measurement now, the top stitching line. You'll notice it's the same angle cut. Same angle, but still make fresh cuts. You want your block to be as accurate as possible. The second block is going to be based off of this top seam line. So if you use the existing cut that was there, it would be based off of that seam line. And you know how we can make mistakes. Maybe not you, but I make plenty of mistakes along the way. So I want it to be as accurate as possible. 2.5 inch measurement. Ooh, look what I'm doing. I'm putting the 3 inch. No, 2.5. That's when those stickers are really handy. Cut up and cut down. Okay, even without a camera, that's an awkward cut. So, here's my $10 tip. And if you've watched my videos before, you'll know I have yet to get $10 for this tip. You need to cut off of this top stitching line, but instead of moving your ruler, flip your tube over. Now your ruler can stay in the same place, and it's a much easier cut to cut this. Make sure it stays on the bottom stitching line. Inch it as close to that previous cut as you can, and then cut up and cut down, and you'll get another triangle that looks just like that. So follow the directions for the size you're making. Make as many tubes as the pattern says to do, and cut off those dog ears and collect all of your tubes, or all of your half square triangles. They're so pretty. And then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so now I'm going to put the block together by quadrants. Here I have my half square triangles. Here are some of the 2.5 inch squares I had you cut in step 2. These are print squares. And here I have background squares. So I'm going to take 2 parts half square triangle to 1 part print square to 1 part background. I say this because I sound like I'm a cooking show when I do this. And I guess we are cooking now. Okay, so we're going to put these two together, these 4 pieces together, and we're going to make a quadrant. We'll put this one in that corner, that in that corner, and those two like this. Those will make a quadrant as you sew them together. If you go to sew to your sewing machine, the easiest way to put a 4 patch together is to have them laid out like this. Put the right on top of the left, stitch, don't cut the thread. Put this one on top of the other one and sew. Then you will have all of this together as a unit, and you just have to sew those pieces together. This is a great way to strip piece. So you can go to the sewing machine, do a lot of sewing, and get your pieces together, and then do the second seam to sew your blocks together. This is the quadrant. Look, I have one already made by the magic of television. So you're going to make a bunch of quadrants that look like that. Then you're going to go collect some of the other pieces that we had you cut in step 2. Oh, sorry, is that camera shaking? I keep knocking it. There are 4 quadrants that we're going to put together, but the block isn't done yet. You need to have that accent fabric. Finally, you get to see where that accent fabric comes into play. The accent fabric will go smack in the middle of the block. And we have a 4.5-inch segment of background on each side, and then also 4.5-inch on the top and the bottom. I can't find my other piece right now. It's somewhere in the sewing room. So this is your block. Well, it's not pretty yet. Let's sew it together and see what it looks like. Ta-da! So this is block A. Your job now is to go and make a whole bunch of block A's and collect them, and then wait for step 4. Can you do it? I know you can. If you like these videos or you're having a good time, make sure you subscribe in the comments section below and hit that notification button. I think that lets you know when the next video comes out so that you'll be right on top of it and you can drop everything into your sewing room and say, I gotta go. It's legit, kids. I promise. Okay, have a good time making block A, and then the next step will be block B. So go sew. Bye.